Jai Shri Krishna. Om Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Parupasate Tesham Nitya Bhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. Om Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita Discussions, a program of the International Gita Forum and IETV. Today we continue our discussions. We are on program number 12, and we are very fortunate as every week so far to have with us Pandit Vickramaditya Maharaj, who is the consultant to International Gita Forum and has done tremendous study on this topic. We are at chapter 6. On our last program, we concluded at verse 32. Where we start now, Arjun, he is addressing Bhagwan Sri Krishna. So we now turn over to Pandit Vikramji, who will lead our discussions. Panditji.
Arjuna Vach. Yo yama yogastvaya prokta samyena madhusudan etasyaham na pashyami chanchaladvat stitam stiram. Hearing these words of Lord Krishna, Arjuna responded that this yoga of equanimity, I have listened, but I see no peace with it. I see no stability with it. Because by nature, the mind is very restless. And here Arjuna asks the sixth question, Chanchalam mimana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. The mind is very restless. The mind is turbulent. The mind is stubborn. It is strong. It is difficult. And you cannot control the mind in the same way, O Lord, as one cannot control the wind. Now, hearing these words, Lord Krishna responds to this question of Arjuna.
So, Bhagwan Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, basically, we must steady the mind. We must control the mind.
You must have control of the mind.
And Arjuna is pointing out how
difficult
it is. Yeah, he's as much as saying that I consider it as difficult to control as the wind. I can't control the wind, I can't control my mind.
It's impossible to control the wind. So, it is also impossible to control the mind.
Yeah.
Now, this puts Lord Krishna in a spot. Because he's trying to bring stability in the life of Arjuna.
And Arjuna is saying his mind cannot be stable.
That what you want to do to me cannot be done. And the Lord responds to him, Asanshayam mahabaho manuduranigraham chalam abhyasintu kaunteya vairagena cha grihyati. I agree with you, Arjuna. I agree with you. The mind is difficult to control. It is restless. It is stubborn. I agree with you. But it could be controlled. Now, this clearly states Arjuna does not know how to control the mind.
At this point. Yeah.
Well, Arjuna does not know how to control the mind. And he comes up with this conclusion that control of the mind is not possible.
So what you're telling me can't be done. That's what he's telling Lord Krishna.
And Lord Krishna is saying to him, yes, it can be done. Asansayatmana yogo dushaprapya iti me mati vasyatyam manatuta yatata shakyo vatum upayataha. It is very hard. I concede that to you, Arjuna. I concede. It is hard to attain by a person who cannot control himself. If you cannot control food, you want to control the mind? So you say, yes, it is difficult for that person. who cannot control the other things around him. So it becomes impossible to control the mind. But if you could control yourself, Arjun, that is the beginning of controlling the mind. Control your needs, control your wants, and then you begin to develop that control. And when you develop the control, then it will extend onto the mind. So Arjun, now hearing this, he asks question 7. Ayate Shraddhayo Peto Yoga Chalita Manasa Aprapya Yoga Sansiddhim Kagatim Krishna Gacchati. But how can a person who is unable to control himself, if Arjun couldn't control himself, and this is what makes this discussion unique, if he could not control himself, he would have run from the battlefield before the war started. He didn't run. He means he stood his ground. So he has a certain level of control, but something triggered it, that his mind went off track. So he now says, even though I may have faith, but I cannot control myself, what is going to happen to me? Am I going to be a failure? You see, this is what we have been taught from the time we were born. Life is based on two things: success and failure. Pandit, with all due respect to you, do you drive?
Yes.
Could you fix the car if something go wrong with the engine?
No.
So why are you driving? You're driving something you can't even fix it if it go wrong with you. You understand the point? So, success and failure, you might be a successful driver, but you're a failure at being a mechanic. Right. But the fellow who is a brilliant mechanic, see the car he does have. He don't want a new car, he want an old car because he constantly want to practice.
Yeah.
This is the key to it. The key is practice.
Repeated practice. Repeated practice.
Repeated practice. So, now, again Arjun rushes forward by saying, question 8. Gacchino bhayave brashta chinana brahmiva nashyati apratishta mahabaho vimodo brahmanapati. I have failed as an individual to control the mind. I have failed to perfect this yoga that you are talking about. And now, I have fallen from both. I fail on both counts. I am deluded. I am like a cloud blowing in the sky without water in it. That cloud useless. Etaname sanshayama Krishna chetu marashya sheshata twadanya sanshayasya chetataya hyupapadyati. This is the doubt that I have in my mind. And this is what Lord Krishna wants from Arjun. You know, as a teacher teaching in class, I remember in school, professor asked some questions one day, and everybody sit down quiet. And his answer was, either you all are really brilliant, or you're really foolish. All you make up all your mind. If all you're brilliant, all you need to leave school and go look for a job. Because everything I teach, all you seem to know what I'm talking about. Ask questions.
Yeah.
And one fellow stick up his hand and say, but suppose I ask a question and it's foolish. He said, well, if you ask a foolish question, it means you don't understand what I'm teaching. So I have to teach you. This is Arjun's problem.
Yeah.
This is Arjun's problem. This is the doubt that I have in my mind.
What
and I trust no one.
Yeah, what Lord Krishna is telling him to do, he believes he cannot do. And he's thinking, therefore, that, and asking the question, is it that I'm a failure then?
So he said, this is the doubt that I have in my mind. And I trust no one except you.
That demonstrates faith also
well,
in Lord Krishna.
Well, we have reached Lord Krishna and he faith and Arjuna and he faith yet. I have confidence in you that this doubt that I have in my mind, you could take it away from me. Now, let us now translate that into our world. In the world of Sanatan Dharma, or we want to say the world of Hinduism in Trinidad, there is a verse in the beginning of the Ramcharit Ramanas, Bandhavu Guru Prata. No. Bandau Pratama something. Moha Janita Sansai Sabaharana.
Bando Pratham Mahi Suracharana.
Right.
Moh Janit Sansai
See, at least you
Savarana.
read the Ramayana. Right? Bandau Pratama Mahi Suracharana. I bow to those gurus in the world. Moha Janita Sansai Sabaharana. Because they have that ability to take away the doubt that I have in my mind, which is born out of ignorance.
Yeah.
So here, the Bhagavad Gita links directly to the Ramayana of Goswami Tulsidas. It links directly. You have to find that person who is competent enough to take away the doubt. Am I going to have a guru who is going to create more doubt in my mind? No. Sanatana Dharma says no. Look for that guru. Moha Janita Sansai Sabaharana. And Arjuna is saying, you are that Mahisura Charana. You are the Lord of this earth. You are the Guru of this world. So hearing this now, Lord Krishna responds immediately by cutting away this doubt immediately. Partami, Partanaiveha namutra, Vinasyastasya na vidyati, Nahi kalyana kritakangchet, Duragatim taya gacchati. Arjun, in this world, nor in the next world, will that person be a failure. That is not going to happen. Those who do good in this world could never end up in grief, Arjun. That is not going to happen. Now, Lord Krishna is now carrying Arjun in a different line. He's carrying the conversation in a different trend. And let us hope that Arjuna is smart enough to pick up on it. Prapya punya kritama loka nashetva shashwati sama shuchi nama shrimatama gehe yogo brashta vijayati. He says, when you depart from this world, Arjun, you will go to the abode of the righteous, the celestials. And then, because you have attempted to reach me, and you did not reach me, you are asking that, is that person a failure? And I am telling you that when that person, all the good he has done is expired, I send him back in a home of the pure, of the righteous. I choose where to send him. Atava yoginam eva kula bhavati yadhimatam etadadi durlabtaramaloke janamayaddi idrisham. He says, or such an individual is born in the home of a yogi, of wise people, and such a birth is very difficult to happen, Arjun. That's not going to happen. Very rare that happens. That way you have people who are materialistic, I mean seriously materialistic, and then one child born in that home and renounces everything. It's very rare for that to happen. Tatratam buddhisana yogam labate pauravati hikam yatate chayato bhoya sansiddhau kurunandana. And I say to you, Arjun, when that child comes back into the world, he regains the knowledge he has acquired from the past. And I'll give you one or two examples of that, or one example of that. No child born on the face of this earth under the age of 5 could pick up a piano and play Tchaikovsky or Mozart. It's not possible. No child could do it. He had to have that knowledge that he brought with him. We call them child, there's a word they use in English, a child prodigy. There's no such thing called a child prodigy. Because we believe in Sanchita karma, we believe in Prarabdha karma, we believe in Agami karma. Things that you have done in the past makes you who you are now. And things that you do now carries over into the future. So you are born, Lord Krishna is saying in chapter 6 of the Gita, that when you make that effort, I send you in a place, Arjun, where the knowledge that you have acquired from the past, that knowledge is dawned upon you. So it becomes easier for you to continue the journey rather than have to start off at 1 again. If you had reached position 7, when you come back, you start back at position 7. You're not going to start back at 1 to reach 4 and then die, and then start back at 1 and reach 3 and die. It doesn't make sense.
There's no loss. You continue.
There's no loss. All this knowledge that you have acquired. People say when you're dead, if you don't teach anybody, the knowledge die with you. That is not true. That is not true at all. Knowledge is never wasted. You might come back in your next life as a professor very young. I remember watching a program on television where they have a young guy in America, 12 or 14 years, who directing surgeons how to do surgery. And they say they cannot give him a license to practice because they're too young. Where he getting knowledge from to do that? Obviously, he brought that with him. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate hyavashopisa jigyasurapi yogasya shabda brahmati varatate. By the practices that you have done in the past, it comes back to you. And when that knowledge comes back to you, very quickly, you become superior to other normal individuals in terms of knowledge, in the term of rites and rituals, in the terms of study of the scriptures. You are way ahead of the class. Now, if you go back to the Ramayana, when they say you go to the home of the guru and you spend 5-6 years or 10-12 years studying scriptures with the guru and all the different things the guru will teach, Ram mastered it all in 64 days. 64 days is 2 months. So, how did he acquire it in 64 days? It means he brought it with him, that knowledge. Prayatya jatmanasta yogi sanshuddha kilbisha aneka janma sansiddhistato yati param gatim. Those who strive. You see, you cannot strive for perfection 1 day a week. And that is a mistake we are making. We believe if we do this 1 day a week, we're good to go. No, those who are constant in their practice, they will be freed or liberated from whatever wrongs they have done in this lifetime. And they will become perfect when? Aneka janma, through many births. It don't happen in one lifetime. Through many births, you will be purified. And in the end, yati param gatim. In the end, you become one with me. Tapasvibhyo diko yogi jnanibhyopi matodikaha karamebhyascha diko yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. A yogi is superior to an ascetic, superior to men of knowledge, superior to the ritualist. My advice to you, Arjun, become a yogi. A yogi is a direct connection to God. Yoga namapi sarvesham madagate nantaratmana sharavan bhajate yomam same yuktamo mataha. And all the yogis, Arjun, this is the reason I want you to become a yogi. Because they worship me with faith. Faith is now the base. He says, what he literally is telling Arjun, put your faith in me. Don't just ask me a question and accept the answer. No, put your faith in me that whatever answer I give to you, whatever direction I point you in, you go with that direction. Because you have put your faith in me. That is what he's requesting from Arjun. And he says to him, all the yogis worship me with faith. They worship me as the one merged in them, and they are going to merge into me. And I hold that person very dear to me, Arjun. So he didn't want to tell Arjun in words, listen, you're close to me. He beat around the bush and said, people like that are very close to me. And I'm saying to you, Arjun, they are devoted to me, and I am devoted to them. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastri Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Dhyana Yognam Shashto Adhyaya. Bolo Shri Govinda Bhagavan Ki Jai.
Thus in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahm, the scripture of Yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjun ends the 6th chapter entitled The Yoga of Self-Control. Jai Shri Krishna. At this point, we will take our break and then return. Do stay with us. Jai Shri Krishna. Welcome again to the program Bhagavad Gita Discussions. We are now starting chapter 7, Pandit Vikramji.
Jnana Vigyan Yoga, the yoga of knowledge and realization. So Lord Krishna begins by saying to Arjuna, Mayaya Saktamana Partha Yogamayun Janmadashrayaha Asanshayam Samagrama Mama Yata Gyasyasi Yachatrino. Remember, we ended chapter 6 by saying, put your faith in me. And Lord Krishna now begins, listen to me, Arjuna. With your mind clinging to me, take refuge in me, practice this yoga, and without a doubt, Arjuna, you will attain what you set about to do. Jnanamate hamasavignanam midamavakshyam yasheshata yajagyatva neha bhutonya gyatavyama yashishyate. I will teach you, Arjuna. And once you realize what I teach you, there is nothing else in this world that you need to know. Lord Krishna is now establishing, once you establish yourself in God, what else in this world you need to know? There's nothing else you need to know. He further stresses to Arjuna, Manushyanam sahastreshu kakshidadhyatati siddhaye yatatam api yasiddhanam kakshinamam vetiti tatvataha. Amongst thousands of people, scarcely will one try to reach me. And of those who strive to reach me, he might not even know the truth. Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kamamano buddhirevacha ahankaram miti yamame benana prakrati nashtadaha. He says the 5 elements, together with the mind, the intellect and ego. This is my prakriti, Arjuna, but this is my lower prakriti. Apariyam mitastvanyam prakritim viddhi me param jeva bhuta mahabaho yayedamadharyate jagat. He says, and this lower prakriti is different from me. Not because you know the earth means you know God.
Good.
He says, my higher prakriti, Arjuna, is what causes this universe to be upheld. Now, when you read in the Vishnu Puran, there is a verse in the Vishnu Puran says, Eka desha stitas yagnir jyotya vistarine yata parasyam brahmana shaktis yashidama kilam jagat. The sun is in one place, but yet the light of the sun pervades the entire universe. It is the same way with the Supreme. The Supreme is one place, but he exists in every single thing that is created. In the Upanishads, it says, Purusha evadam saravam, that the Supreme is in everything that exists. That is where the Lord is. Etadyo niti bhutani saravani yopadharaya aham kritnasya jagata prabhava pralayastataha. And know that these two is called the womb of all beings. I am the origin. I am the dissolution. I am everything in this universe, Arjuna. Matatat parataramananya kingshiradasti dhananjaya mayi saravamidama proktam sutra manigano yivaha. There is nothing you could compare with the Lord. There is nothing higher than the Lord. O Dhananjaya, every life form in this world are like, we see a string beads together. All are connected somehow. They are all connected, and they are connected through me. Raso hamapyasya kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayo pranava sarava vedeshu shabdake paurusham rishu. When you open the tap and you put your hand there and the water falls on you, describe that feeling.
Feels good.
Really?
Yeah, water on your hand.
Everybody.
Won't sitting over cold.
A man who have fever. If he do
That's
that.
the point. No, a man of fever will be happy for cold water.
Really? Okay. That feeling, only you who experience it will understand it.
Yeah.
But you cannot explain it. Nobody could explain that feeling. It's something you ought to taste. The same way, Arjun, when you look at the full moon, I am the radiance that come. I am the brilliance of the Surya, the sun. I am the pranava in all mantras, Om. I am the sound in space. I am that quality that is called manliness. Punyo ganda pritabhyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. When I don't think you ever cutlass grass with 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Not 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. I cut it during the day.
Nah, the day I'm wasting time. When you do it at that hour, when the dew is still on the grass, that fragrance that you get from that grass, you don't ever get it no time in the day except that time.
Okay.
I am that fragrance. I am the brilliance. Lighting fire is not brilliant enough. Fire could be dim. But when the fire is full of energy, I am that brilliance in that fire. I am the life that exists in all beings, Arjun. Tapaschasmi tapasvishu. I am the penance, the austerity in those who perform austerities. Bijamamam sarvabhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhira buddhira matamasmi tejasa tejasvinamaham. Know me, Arjun, to be that beej, that seed. I am the eternal seed of all. Even though the life or the body of the individual will die eventually, the seed still remains. I am that eternal seed. I am the intelligence that resides in intelligent people. I am the splendor in those things that are splendid. Balabalavatam kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamasmi bharatarshava. I am the strength in those who are strong, but I am devoid of the desire of passion. I do not abuse the strength that I have to take advantage of weak people. That is not what strength is for. In beings, I am the desire that exists in all. But Arjun, I am the desire that conforms with dharma. Not the other desire you have, that is not me. Ye chaiva satvika bhava rajasastamasaschaye matata eveti tana vidde natvam tesho nate mayi. Whatever being that exists in this world is either they are sattvic, they are rajasic, or they are tamasic. Know it. They all came from me. The good, the bad, and the evil, they all came from me. But I say to you, Arjun, natvam tesho nate mayi. I do not exist in them all. So when I hear people say that God here, there, and everywhere, God here, there, and everywhere, that is not totally true. God don't reside in evil. Did God reside in the person in Guyana who liked that rain much and burned down that building and killed 19 children? God cannot be residing in a person like that. Nobody could convince me of that. But I am not in them. They originated from me. But that doesn't mean I am part of them. Tribira gunya mayer bhaver rebe sarvamidam jagat mohitam na bijanati mamebhya paramabhyaya. They are deluded beings in this world, Arjun. And because they are deluded in this world, they are deluded by Prakriti. They are deluded by the gunas. They do not know me. Who am I? I am the one who is above all of that. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva me prapadyante maya me tam tarantite. This divine illusion, Arjun, is made up of the gunas. It is very difficult to overcross them. But those who surrender to me, they will cross over this illusion. You must have difficulties in life. Life could never be smooth, or smooth sailing as they say. Life could never be that. There must be problems, there must be difficulties. And if you are not up to it, then you will subject yourself to birth and death all the time. To be up to it is you have to make your mind firm to cross this illusion by putting your faith in God, surrendering to the Supreme. Nachamam dushkrita niyo mudha prapadyante naradhama mayaya prahita jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. Those evildoers, Arjun, they are deluded. They are the lowest amongst humanity because they cannot discriminate. And following the way of evil, they do not seek me. They do not search me out. Chatura vidya bhajanta mama janasu kritno arjuna arto jigya surartarti jnane cha bharatarshabaha. There are 4 types of people in this world, Arjun, who worship me. 1, a man in trouble. 2, one seeking knowledge. 3, the man seeking wealth. And 4, the man seeking wisdom. Those are the only 4 people who worship me, Arjun. Tesha magyani nitya yukta eka bhaktir vashishyati priyo hi jnanino yarada mahamachasa mama priya. Of these 4 groups of people that pray to me, the one who seeks wisdom, that is the one who is very dear to me. And that is the one who will excel. It does not mean that I do not like the other 3. It doesn't mean that at all. God likes everybody. But the one who seeks him out, he will show more interest in that one. Udara sarva eveti jnani vatmeva ye matam astita sahi yuktadma mameva nutaram gatim. Noble are these souls, Arjun. But the wise, I deem the wise to be my very self. For they are steadfast in their mind and they are established in me. And then in time, they are going to merge into me. Bahunam janmana mante jnanavan ma prapadyate vasudev sarvamiti sammahatma sudurlavaha. At the end of many births, the man of wisdom takes refuge in me, realizing that that Supreme Lord, Vasudev, is all that exists. And such a soul is very rare. This is why sometimes when I'm speaking, I refer to Goswami Tulsidas as being a genius. Because nobody, no writer I have read so far, even in all the Puranas and all the Shastras and everything I have read, none has put it more simple and straightforward as Tulsidas when he said, Siya Rama mai sab jagajani, karahu pranama jodi jugapani. Nobody has put it with such love, such simplicity, and such truth than Goswami Tulsidas. And Lord Krishna now says, such a person is very rare. Kamiste hritagyanam prapadyante nyadevata tam tam niyam mamasthaya prakritya niyata swaya. But those who have been led astray, Arjun, by some desire, those who have been led astray by people who fool them into believing that the Sanatana God is not God, it have different God, go to the different God. Those people, Arjun, they will be constrained. They will never be themselves. Somebody always has to lead them. Sanatan Dharma is not about leading people. Sanatan Dharma is about illuminating people. That is what Sanatan Dharma is about, not blind following. is you become your own leader. You become one with the Supreme. Yo yo yam yam tanuma bhakta shradayara chitta michati tasya tasya chalam shraddha tameva vididam yaham. Whatever form any devotee worships me with faith, I am the one who makes that faith firm. However you worship me, Dake vahi bhavana kaisi prabhu murata deki tinataisi. However you visualize God, that is what God is. The Vedas have said it very complicated. Tattvamasi. Tulsidas made it very simple by saying Jake vahi bhavana kaisi prabhu murata deki tinataisi. However you visualize God, that is how God is.
Yeah.
You make God how you want. Sattaya shadaya yuktas tasya yaradhanamihati labate cha tata kaman mayeva vihitanitan. Those who have been blessed with faith and he worships that form that he believes in, all his desires will be fulfilled because it has to come to me. Regardless of who we pray to in Sanatana Dharma, there is something we always say in every worship, and that is Krishna Arpana. We always say that. It goes to that source sends it back to the Devata you worship, and the Devata in turn sends it back to you. Antavatu palamatesham tadavat yalpamedasam devana deva yate yanti madagata yanti mamapi. The fruit that people get whose mind is small are very small fruits, very finite. It's going to be destroyed one day. The worshippers of the Supreme goes to the Supreme. The worshipper of the Devatas goes to the Devata. And those who surrender to me, merge into me, never to return again. You see, that is one of the things people don't understand. People think that you're going to heaven. If you die, you're going to heaven, you're going to heaven, you're going to heaven. Okay, let me say that is true. What happens when you reach heaven now? Nobody don't discuss that. We don't discuss that in Sanatana. We don't discuss that in Sanatana Dharma. We don't believe in that. We believe whatever you worship, that is what you become. Avyaktam avyaktam apananam manyante mama buddhaya paramabhavam majanando mamabhyayamanuttamam. People with small understanding think that God is invisible. God cannot manifest. And if God cannot manifest, then you can't see him. And if you can't see him, what you're praying to? Lord Krishna makes it very, very clear when he says to Arjun, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogo maya semabritaha modo yamna bijanati loko mama jamabhyayam. That is what the verse says. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samabritaha modo yamna bijanati loko mama janabhyayam. I do not reveal myself to all. Because of this yoga maya, everybody not going to see me. Those who are deluded do not know me. The unborn, the unchanging, they do not know who I am. Sant Goswami Tulsidas says, Chidanandamaya Deha Tumhari Bigada Pikadi Jnana Adhikari. Tulsidas writes in the Ramayana, you have a divine form, O Lord, but only those whose heart is pure will see that form. You want it more simple than that? Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha varjuna bhavishyami cha bhutani mamatu vedana kashanaha. Arjun, I am the one who knows the past, the present, and the future. But no one knows me. Again we refer to Sant Goswami Tulsidas. Rama artagya buddhi manabani matahamara asa sunahi sayani. You cannot analyze God by using argument, by words that you make up. by the mind and by the intellect. You cannot realize God by doing that. You could only realize God through bhakti, loving devotion. That is the only way. Ichcha dvesha samutvena dvanda mohena bharata sarva bhutani sanamoham saragayanti parantapaha. He says this delusion, what we call the pair of opposites, Arjun, this delusion that exists, by the delusion of the pair of opposites, arises in the mind of an individual because of desires. And once you have that, Arjun, you are subject to the illusion of birth and death again and again and again. And the purpose of life is to sever that link with birth and death. Why you want to go through this all the time, all the time? Pandit, you ever had a kidney stone?
Personally, no. I hear it's terrible pain.
I don't wish you get one. Think what I just tell you if I tell you that. And if you get one, why you want it all the time? I'll give you a nice example of that. I had one already.
Okay.
I had it shattered. Very expensive. And one day, like piece remained back. And I was in pain, real pain. And my wife went to the doctor. And I'm ringing and bawling in pain. And he hit me a needle right here. He said, I tell you exactly what the doctor said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You still have pain? Yes. Hit me a second needle. He said 1, 2. I said the pain gone. And my wife asked the doctor a question. Is that pain really so unbearable? You know what his answer was? He said, Mom, have you ever delivered a baby? She said, yes. You know what his answer was? Then you don't know what pain is. This worse than delivering a baby, that pain. So if you get that once, you want it twice, you want it 3 times, something wrong with your head. So Lord Krishna is saying, you have the opportunity to get rid of this illusion of birth. Get rid of it. Why you want to continue come back here? He says to Arjun, Yesham twantagatam apapam jananam punya karamanam te dvanda mohanera mukta bhajante mamadridapataha. Those people who perform good deeds, who has been able to burn out the wrongs that they have done, those who have freed themselves from the pair of opposites, those who worship me, they remain very firm in me, Arjun. Because once they taste that nectar of God realization or contact with God, who will want to give it up? Nobody will want to give up that. The police ever charge you for a crime yet?
Me?
Yeah.
Traffic tickets.
A traffic ticket is not a crime. You break a traffic light. That's not a crime.
I went up
You
wrong way.
You drive up a one-way street and you want me to follow you? Brilliant one. Really brilliant. I follow a man who driving up a one-way street. I ain't gonna last long. The point I'm making, nobody wants to be charged for a crime. Nobody.
Yeah.
But if you get charged for the crime, what you want to happen? Wouldn't you like to win the case?
You want to get away, yeah?
You want to win the case. But the same thing with God. Nobody want to find God. But Lord Krishna is saying, but if you find him, you don't want to give him up again. Because you now realize the reality of that nectar. And now he comes to Arjun. Jara marana mokshaya mama shritya yayantiti te brahma tadviddakritsanam madhyatama karama chakilam. Those who take refuge in me. We go back to chapter 6. Put your faith in me. Those who put their faith in me and they strive to free themselves from Jara Maran, birth and death, from decay, they realize in full that Supreme Brahman, that individual self, and all karma. They realize everything. Put your faith in me. Trust me. For I am the one to deliver you from decay, from death, from yourself, and from karma. Sadi bhutadi daivam sadi yagyam cha me vidu prayanakalo piche mama te vidura yukta chetasa. Now, Lord Krishna now carries this discussion with Arjun out of the blue at a height that Arjun could not reach by saying to him, those who realize me in the Adi Bhut, in the Adi Daiva, and in the Adi Yagya, they of firm mind realizes me even at the time of death. Now these terms that he has used here, Adi Bhut, Adi Daiva, Adi Yagya, Arjun must have never heard of that in his life. So Lord Krishna now prompts Arjun to ask more questions. You know, sometimes the answer you give, you know, everything in Trinidad where we just say, the only people who could answer a question with a question is who?
Lawyers?
Trinidadians. Only a Trinidadian could answer a question with a question, and the answer to that is, who told you that? Who told you that is also a question.
Yeah.
So only we could do that. So he's now, Lord Krishna has now established in Arjun that there are certain things Arjun needs to know. And he has to channel Arjun onto the roadway where he could ask the questions to liberate not only himself, but to liberate humanity from the bondage of birth and death. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Jnana Vigyan Yogonam Saptamo Adhyaya.
Thus in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahm, the scripture of Yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjun, ends the 7th chapter entitled The Yoga of Gyan, Knowledge of Nirgun Brahm, and Vigyan, Knowledge of Manifest Divinity. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Bolo Shri Govinda Bhagavan ki Jai.
Jai. We've now come Panditji to the end of chapter 7, and also at this point the end of our program number 12. I want to thank all our viewers, those of you who have been sending comments, WhatsApp, who have been contacted Pandit Vikram. Remember, if you wish to contact us, you can contact Pandit Vikram at 652-1043. If you have any questions you wish to WhatsApp only, you can do so at 784-9880. As we conclude this program, we want again to thank the sponsors of this program and all sponsors who have made it possible for us to be able to bring this Bhagavad Gita series to you. Until next time, Jai Shri Krishna.